What's up YouTube? You're back watching Johnny Fabz, and today we are going to be installing a timing belt on a B-Series Honda motor. Alright, the first thing we need to do is pull the valve cover off. So there's 8 10mm bolts and the valve cover should be able to pull off. Alright, so next you want to pull the 4 spark plug boots off, set those to the side. And then you should be good to remove the valve cover. And might as well take the gasket with it. Alright, next you want to take off the crank pulley. That is a 3/4 inch socket. Oh. Go ahead and pull this off. And then go ahead and pull the crank off. Don't want to lose this keyway. This keyway is important. So go ahead and set that to the side. And then you want to thread the bolt back in so we can clock the timing belt before we take off the old one. Alright. Now you want to rotate the motor till there's 2 timing marks here on the 2 cams, and then there's a mark on here, and then there's a mark on the block. You want all those to line up when cylinder number 1 is at top dead center. I'll show you that. So if you look on the cams, there'll be a mark right here and right there. You might have to find them. And then there's a mark on the block right there. You can kind of see it right there. So you want to line the keyway up with that. And then those two you want to line up. Take your wrench, tighten that up. Alright, so now we're going to be using my timing belt tool. I'll put the link in the description. This makes life a lot easier. You're going to want to put your cam gears in that, and then you want your 2 lines that I just showed you to be lined up right there. Put it on. So let me show you. See, the 2 marks are in that hole. And then let's see if I can get this off. Pull this off, this bolt off. Slide the washer off. And then you'll see that line. You see this line and that mark on the block should line up. Then you know your timing is set right, and then you can go ahead and pull the belt off, put the new belt on. Alright, so next we are going to be taking off the tensioner. The tensioner is a 14mm bolt, so go ahead and put it here. You can see that. Since we are replacing the tensioner too, you can pull it right off. If you were just doing the belt, you could leave it on, just make it loose. And then there's also a spring to keep the tensioner tight. Go ahead and pull that off. So now you take your belt off, take your tensioner, take the tensioner off, and you're ready for the new belt and new tensioner. We are going to be replacing the water pump also, so I'm going to show you how to take that off. Alright, so we're going to pull the water pump off. I went ahead and soaked it with PB Blaster beforehand. If you know what you're going to do it, just soak it down ahead of time. That way the bolts break free easier. And they are 10mm bolts. Just want to be careful you're not snapping these off in the block, because you do want a good tight seal on this water pump so it doesn't leak. There is 5 bolts you got to take out, then the water pump should pop off. Might need a little helper to help it come off. And then there's your water pump. Looks like this one, somebody put some RTV around it to help it seal better. We'll get this cleaned up and put the new water pump in, and we'll be good to go. So I just use a little scraper, get all that gasket maker off. That way we can get a nice tight fit. Alright, so here's the water pump. It's a part number if you need it. I'll put the link in the description. New water pump. Turns a lot better. The other one was making noise when I spun it, so we're just gonna put this on here. And there you go. Water pump's on. Now we're gonna put the tensioner on, and then we can install the timing belt. Alright, so now we're ready to install the timing belt tensioner. This is the part number for the Gates timing belt tensioner. It is pretty good. It rolls around fine. So go ahead and there is a big hole and a little hole for the timing belt tensioner. Go ahead and put the big hole over this, and then go ahead and install your bolt. You can leave this loose because we need it loose to get the belt on. And then also I got a OEM Honda spring. Here's the part number. Open that up. And then you're going to want to put the spring in. And then probably have to get some pliers and stretch it over. So probably get some pliers, grab the spring, stretch it over. You should be good. Now to install the belt. Alright, so next you want to install your timing belt. There's the part number. I like to go over the cams. put it over the tensioner. Make sure it's on the water pump. Make sure everything's aligned, nice and centered. And then I like to use a screwdriver and then on the tensioner, because you want to put tension on it. Put it below that circle, pry up. Your tensioner will take the slack out of it. Take your 14mm socket, tighten up and you shouldn't be able to go past 90 when you tighten this. And then you can go ahead and put that spring back on. I took it off because you'll fight it trying to put the belt on. Put the spring back on. And then you should be all set. Alright, once you got this put back on, put the bolt back on, take your timing belt tool off, and then you want to rotate the engine counterclockwise 3 times. All I did was I rotated the engine, set it back at tap dead center, put my timing tool in, loosened the tensioner, tightened it back up, and then now I got all that slack. You don't want slack here, and then you don't want to be able to twist it past 90 here. And then you should be able to undo this, put your crank pulley back on, and your timing belt should be all set. Alright. So you just want to make sure, see how this is, one side is rounded and one side is kind of concave. You want to put the rounded side facing the belt, and then you want to put your keyway in, and then you want to put your crank in. Alright guys, so we got the timing belt on. If you have timing belt covers for the plastic covers, go ahead and put those on before you put the crank on. This motor does not have them, so I'm going to leave them off. Probably get some here soon, and I'll have to put them on before I drop the motor in, the hatch. But here's a quick look at it installed. Want to make sure you're not hanging over the side here. Everything's aligned. Had to loosen the alternator, put that belted back on, and tighten that up. That's a 12mm and a 14mm. Don't forget to put the valve cover back on. I always add a little bit of Honda Bond here, the corners on the cams, and then I reinstall the valve cover. Alright guys, hope you liked this video on how to change a B18C1 timing belt. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe and comment below if you guys have any video suggestions. Hope this video helped, and peace. Thank you.